Hello, and welcome to the Wheel of Crime podcast. This podcast is ran by two ladies who play games, mumble profanities, and laugh way too often. Also, this podcast does cover topics of sensitive nature, and as such, listener discretion is advised. And my name is Emily. If you mix our names up together, they would be Jennaly and Emmifer. That's a... How is this the first I'm hearing about this? It makes sense. You know what it is? It's probably because people see your name written and it's like J. Will. And they're like, Jill Will doesn't make any sense. Her name must be Jill. Hey, it's my best friend Joe Will. Hey Joe Will, what are you doing? I was I was literally gonna ask you what you thought about that because I knew you were gonna have to edit it before it went up, and I like thought about it afterwards, and I was like, this is already highly embarrassing. I know. It felt weird to do it though. Like it felt weirder to not do it. Like just like raw dog the recording. Like it like just hit. It did. It felt like I was just gonna hit the record button and just like fly into it, and I was like, "This is weird. I'm gonna clap." Thanks. Well, and I did learn. So I won't lie to you. I was very anxious about it because I'm not like, I don't talk to myself normally. So, like, it was already kind of weird. Because if I'm, like, ever home alone, if I, like, talk at all, it's to the cats. Like, I don't look in the mirror and I'm like, hey, Emily, what are you were you gonna do today? Like I don't do that. So like I like literally sat down with the recording and I was like, I'm gonna be genuinely just talking to myself for like however long. Maybe it's gonna work out. I don't know. Like I had a genuine, probably a hot 10 minute like personal crisis before I hit the record button because I was gonna like it's just gonna be silence. It's gonna be me staring at the record button, being like, and then like not being able to talk about anything. Well, I spent so long trying to find like a thing where I could actually plug your potential answers into it and then it would just like randomize through that. But the only ones I could find were literally like randomly yes or randomly no, like a magic 8 ball. And I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, I guess. See, it was like you were still there, but like in spirit. Yeah, it's like an insert. Well, like, okay, I have to ask. Do you not? So, were you guys talking like over the phone or over email? Okay, so then do you have not have an email signature that literally has your name in it? Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing is I find too if for example there is a language barrier, usually people second guess themselves and they're like, "Oh, like she's saying this, but I think she's saying Jill and trying to be polite." So, I do still think it's funny though. I think you should just change your name. Imagine how much no, you could be just like your brother, okay? Phil will, Jill will. It's perfect. I don't know why your parents didn't think of this. This is gold. This is comedy gold. Well, and then your sister could be. We could change your sister's name to Krillwill. I love it, but I also love the fact that I know that she would hate it. I think that also makes me laugh. Um, yeah. See, that's weird to me too. Well, that's the thing I don't get is that I've literally known you 4 years. Like, I've never even had the thought cross my mind. I've never heard anybody call you that. And we've spent, like, a lot of time together, like, over the past, like, 10 ish years that we've known each other and been friends, right? So, like, the fact that has happened at all is shocking to me. Like, I can't. Like, I understand the thought process, but it's also weird to me that it would just start happening because you think that I would have heard something at least, like if, like back when we were in school together, of somebody calling you Jill, but it never happened. See, I used to have people mistakenly call me Emma, but I shut that shit down like immediately. I have never met a single Emma that I like. Sorry, Emmas. Um, But like anytime somebody calls me that, I'm like, nope, and I go through like a trauma cycle in my brain of everybody I've ever met named Emma, and I'm like, I am not getting slotted in with the rest of those people. Don't you dare. It's already bad, right? Or I prefer actually just to go by M for the most part. But like usually I just let people know that I'm comfortable with that I'm like, like drop the formalities. We're all friends here. Just M. Just M. That's still terrible. No, thank you. And the fact that your brother still calls me that too, he's like, oh my god, it's Emily. And I'm like, oh my god, it's a Phil. Like, oh yeah, no. Well, him and your boyfriend, fion husband, boy fion husband. Yeah, that one. So like boyfriend, husband. Yeah, the man, your cohort, your partner in crime. Yeah, I did. All right. But yeah, no, we should get into this episode though. I know. Okay. I will start spinning the wheel of questions then. Like in like the like literal sense where you like would kiss somebody and then go and immediately call somebody and be like, "Oh my god, I kissed so and so." Oh hell yeah. Like thinking back to when I was like dating people or whatever, like I feel like especially with you, I would always just keep you in the loop on like if I was seeing anybody or like if I was like interested in somebody. If they kissed me, absolutely, you'd be like the first person I would call. Like I wouldn't even be out of the house yet and I would have your number like in the keypad. Like it wouldn't even take 2 minutes. Like it would be like smooch and I'd be like, all right, I gotta go do something quick, and I would be like calling you from the bathroom and be like, Jen, you'll never guess what happened. So yeah, I do. I do kiss and tell. That's just how it is. Oh yeah, like definitely you. And then like I feel like I would have maybe two other people that I would like mention it to, but like not like immediately, just like casually. And then as for everybody else, they can just figure it out on their own. I got my list. I got my priorities. Right? Absolutely. I mean, it's better than me saying maybe or absolutely not or yes sometimes. Yes, maybe always. All right, let's spin for our next question. Number 3. Visit or revisit? Hmm. Well, if I had to revisit a place, I would revisit Oregon. If I had to visit a place for the first time, I would visit. Hang on. Is Maryland a state or is that a city in a state? I don't know enough about America. Okay. So maybe I would go to Maryland or I don't know. I just wanted to say something that popped into my head. I don't really want to go to any of the Midwest ones because I feel like we already kind of live somewhere that's already similar. So I'd want to go somewhere that's like different than where we live. So I feel like Maryland is probably up there. I do hear a lot about it just from like American people. And ooh, I would also not mind visiting Alaska. And where do you remember what state Salem is in? It's in really? Okay, I wouldn't go there. But maybe I would go to North Carolina or Alaska. It seems like too country for me. Is it really? Mm. Maybe I would go to Massachusetts then. See, like I said, I know nothing about about America. I literally have like a map pulled up in front of me, and I'm like, what seems like prime real estate here? Okay, that's all I got. What about what about you? Of course. I always forget that's a state. I'm coming with you. No, I'm gonna be in Massachusetts. But no, that's a good one. I totally forgot that Hawaii is a state. I always see that's the thing is I always like at the end kind of remember Alaska and then completely forget about Hawaii. Definitely. But I mean, makes sense though. Well, like, why would you want to go to Hawaii? Oh, yeah. And I don't have any money, and I can't travel alone. I would not have put it past you. I would not have put it past you to try and like jump in her suitcase though. You're like literally this is the worst. Like life could not be more terrible than it is right this minute. Yeah. I know. I kind of get that though with my siblings because now I'm the oldest, right? And now I'm at the age where I can go out and do things, and every now and again something will come up where I'll be like, "Oh yeah, like I'm gonna be doing this thing," and like I have two like of my youngest siblings, right? So they're like in middle school ish era, and they'll be like looking at me and they're like, and I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, I can't just not go, but I won't. Well, and that's the thing too is like as an oldest sibling, like when they are like really really young, at that point they're just annoying anyways, and you're like, yeah, my annoying older sibling's mad about me traveling. Ha, bye, bitch. Like you're like peace. See you in 2 weeks. It's gonna be great, right? But no, I do think that's a good idea though. I also want to go to Hawaii someday, but like for me, it's one of those things where like I didn't want to go for a long time just because I felt like a lot of people went there. But now I'm kind of like past that point in my life, and I'm like, like it just looks beautiful, and like I love like everybody I've met who's like come from there and like all these different things, and I'm like, like this just feels like a really great life experience to have. Hmm. Right. Oh, for sure. For sure. Well, and that was the thing too is that like back when we went to Europe, I at the time was traveling for work, and I think a part of me was like, well, everything's going to be like this. So like what's even the point? But like now I'm like, well, it would be similar in a lot of ways because the travel aspect of it would be the same. But like you're just in a different place, like it's a different atmosphere, it's a different environment, there's different things to do. Like the people aren't the same. Like an entirely different and unique experience while still having a lot of the same things that I was already dealing with traveling for work. So it would even be like a little bit easier in that sense because I'm already familiar with how a lot of different things go. But let's spin for our next question. When I was born, mom told me I was like severely average. So I feel like that's like 7-ish pounds, maybe 7 or 8. I wasn't like teeny tiny, but I wasn't like humongous. Oh my god. That's like there's a there's a girl I used to so just an example. There's a girl that I used to go to Pilates with a long time ago. But she wasn't like a girl who came with me to Pilates. We went to school with her, and then she was the Pilates instructor now. But she was telling me about how like her pregnancy had been going on all these things because she at the time was pregnant, and she's like a 5 footish person, like around my height, maybe a little bit short, like a little shorter. And her husband was like 6'3", 6'4", and like a beefy man, like almost like 200, like somewhere around 250 pounds to 300 pounds of just pure muscle, and over 6 feet tall. And I was like, this man is huge. And she was talking about how like she was like scared at this point in her pregnancy, which she was like at 6 months along. She's like, oh my god, but like I was just thinking about this the other week, and like, what if I have like a like 10 pound, 20 pound baby? And I was like, girl, this is something you should have thought about when you literally witnessed him before you even started dating. This is something where you should have looked at him and be like, this man will create massive children. That you should have just known. And ran away. But no, she did end up having the baby, and it was 12 pounds. It's humongous, huge. So yes, that is a scary thought. I'm thankful that with my Andrew, he might not like to hear this, but he is close to my height and not a huge person, and I don't have any concerns about that. So pats on the back to me. Good selection. Um But yeah, no. Or I was remembering there was this lady on TikTok where she was documenting her pregnancy, and everybody was convinced that she was pregnant with like they said for sure like either like twins or triplets, because how big she was, and it was literally like just one baby, but the baby was like somewhere around 16 to 18 pounds. Literally, and she had to have a C-section because it was so big she could not pass it normally. I know. I literally like I felt panic in my throat for her because I remember like seeing the video where she was talking about like what was like going through the C-section with this baby, and I was like just panic. I started panicking for her, and I was like, I don't know how she managed to like make it through that without having like a meltdown. I would have had a full blown meltdown. Writing out your will. My body has been taken by a tiny human. I will not make it past the sunrise. Make sure my ashes go to Hawaii. XOXO Jill will. That's really funny. Okay, we should spin for our last question. What did I do on my 21st birthday? I was working. I was in, I think, British Columbia doing a site assessment on my 21st birthday. And then I came back a week and a half later, and I had some drinks at home and watched television. I'm pretty sure. Very exciting. Yeah, I'm just a party animal. Yeah, and that's what I can remember. Like maybe I went to the bar. I don't honestly think I did though. Maybe? No. I don't think so. I kind of stopped going to the bar for my birthday like after 19. No. The like appeal was there for like the first 2 years of being able to drink legally, and then it was gone after that. So, yeah. Well, what about you? Do you remember your 21st birthday? It's true. Yeah. Probably. It's good times. Good times. Um Yeah, but I mean, those are all our questions. So I think your story is going to be about a heavy baby in Hawaii who uh it's about a heavy baby in Hawaii. That's all I got. I guess so. Was he born in Massachusetts? All right, let's hear it. Fair enough. I mean, that's rough though. No, I feel like that's probably an accurate assessment. Oh, 100%, yes. That's vomitous. Okay, whenever you tell your crime stories, and there's always something where it's like future killers when their children like are cruel to animals. I can't even fathom it, like the extent that some of these people go. Like there was a point where he had to have been sitting there and he was like, maybe this isn't normal. Maybe I shouldn't want to do this. Yeah, maybe I should not pretend like I'm like on like some kind of like that is literally one thing about it. Is like Lord of the Flies, caveman, ooga booga, going after the animals, like trying to establish your territory away from other cave people. Like I can't even figure that out. I can't figure it out. Yeah, and also I feel like at that point, like the gig is up. Like not only do they know that you killed this one, but they also probably figured out that you killed the last one too. Definitely. Yep. And it's also definitely like deeply unsettling too that like say like if you were the little sister in the situation to have somebody like that as a sibling and then have your cat go missing because it favored you over them potentially, like the whole thing is already like deeply unsettling. Literally. I'd be like, you know what? I went through enough. I feel like I should have gotten an angel out of the experience, but apparently not. Right? And he was 13 pounds at birth. Right? To me, it sounds like his sister definitely also has problems if she is like lining up her siblings trying to get them run over by trains. That's a lot. Literally not even once, but I still have to hear about the one time that I threw Ethan down the stairs. I wasn't trying to kill him. If I was trying to kill him, I would have done something else, I think. My crimes, not my crimes. So far seems like a valid fear. Maybe a child therapist would have been the best way to go about that, but yeah, no, not great. Who's to say? Love from women turns men gay? What? This is. Okay, it sounds like baloney to me, but whatever, I guess. Just out of the blue, like, you were a huge kid, you kill animals, and you're a psychopath, and also you're gay! Like, what is happening? It's literally not even a problem. Like on the list of like problems, I wouldn't even call that a problem. I would call a problem like probably keeping cat parts in your closet and like trying to murder your siblings. Like those are problems. Everybody got mental problems. Let's work on ourselves first, and then worry about other people later. 100%. She's like, not my life. I'm special too. That seems like a conflict of interest on a couple different levels. All around. I've heard no good ideas so far. Not a single one. Literally, you're like, yes, his rationale is I just wanted to see what it felt like to kill grandma, and now he's testing the psychological level of other inmates? Can't say that was your best idea. That is a good point. At that point, I think testing the psychiatrist would be the next step. Could just be us. He's just gathering skills. Literally, like what was this psychiatrist even thinking in the first place? Like what possibly could have been like the rationale behind like this whole thing. And now he's learning new skills. Like, okay, right? It's too much. It's too much. Couldn't wonder. I couldn't fathom how that would be. all of it's gross. I don't love it. And the escalation is also terrifying. And the fact that he was picking up these people, like knowing what direction he wanted to take it in eventually, but was just kind of waiting for it to happen too, like that's pretty fucked up too. Oh yeah. Well, and like hitchhiking nowadays, I only ever see men now. Like I don't know if I've ever really seen that many women because there's just so much more of a risk involved. Barf. Wow. I wonder how we got here. He's just racking them up. I did see that one coming though, just with like how much he talked about like how much he hated his relationship with his mom. Yeah, that one I could see coming. The math's not mathing. You're embarrassed about lightly touching somebody by accident and then you stab them to death. I would be more embarrassed about the stabbing. That is by far way more embarrassing. You're totally right. That's the thing is like, as much as I feel like the universe probably gave her another out for that situation, at the same time, like, what would you do? Like, I feel like your options are almost limited. Otherwise, you would just sit there and you'd wait for them to what, break into the vehicle and just make them angrier. What would you even do? Well, 15-year-olds can't make rational decisions. Like speaking from somebody who was 15 once upon a time. Hmm. This man, everything he says, I hate. Like, there hasn't been a single moment so far where I've like found a redeemable quality. Like, it's just all bad. Disgusting and horrific. Like, horrific. And then people, yet again, wonder why it is that women are so scared of men, especially. And it's like, okay, like, how, like, you hear this and you're like, okay, I would not even want to be a woman around people with this mindset, right? Like, just forget about it. It just gets worse. I didn't think it could, and then it does. strange, and I don't think they allow it. Noted. Literally, I was about to say that. I was like, the funniest thing is that he's saying that with everything that he did. Like that, like that's so hypocritical. Wow, he's just killing everybody for like no reason. But you did the same. You did like you did many things that were bad and you had no reason for it. Like random, you killed college students because you hadn't gone round to killing your mother, which is what you actually wanted to do. And then grandpa because you were because you didn't want him to be disappointed in you for killing grandma. Literally zero. That is so insane. Like him using all of these little skills that all of these people who apparently thought that he wouldn't while he's in prison. Like insane. Totally insane. Herbie likes his peanuts. Ha ha ha. Me either. If he gets out in this lifetime, it'll be too soon. No, and I think the other thing too is like when it comes to people committing crimes and wanting to reintroduce them into society, there I think there has to be an actual like desire to change, or at least like an understanding of like why what they did is wrong. He just is interested in telling people whatever they want to hear because he at the end of the day has his own motive. He doesn't really even care about how other people think. The only thing that he's interested in is manipulating other people, which he said consistently since like the beginning of time, basically. Like since he was born and able to talk, he talks about how much he likes manipulating people. And then he got great joy out of pretending that he didn't kill the cat. And that was like at what, like 6 years old or something that he did that? And the fact that stuck with him and how he was able to get away with that lie, like at that point, I don't think you're going to be changing this person. Like that's just that's who they've been since they were able to like process being a person, really. But there's no desire to change. Yeah, basically. Or like at the end of the day, it all has to do with how he feels and what his motivations are, which it sounds like they just change depending on whatever he can rationalize. And he doesn't have an interest in being a good, nice person who doesn't kill people. He knows what he likes to do, and he just looks for new ways to do it. Hmm. Oh, yeah. No, I feel like he has no shame, and I don't think he's changed. And like I said, if he gets out in this lifetime, it'll be too soon because Homie is dangerous and does not give a fuck about other people. So, whoop whoop. So, if you like today's episode, you can visit us on our website, which is www.wheelofcrime.com, if you'd like to check us out there. Besides that, we do have a email that you can email us at with your own interests, your story submissions, anything you'd like to tell us, which is wheelofcrime@gmail.com. We do have social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you're looking for any updates on the show, you can look at those places. We also have a Patreon, which is at Wheel of Crime on Patreon, if you'd like to donate to the show. And besides that, we ask that if you like the show to just please leave us a review. It really helps us with just kind of like scoring in the Apple systems and the other the media systems, and we can reach more people this way. And we would love to gather some new listeners to help to join the flock, so to speak. And yeah, I believe that's it for my end of episode plugins. Whoop whoop. Bye.